Quiet. Quiet. You hear me? Quiet. All right. What's up, y'all? What's up? What's up? What is up? I had not planned to do another broadcast today, but after I guess the play of events of what happened, I felt like I needed to go ahead and release this revelation and this word that the Lord gave me. I pray that you guys have had an amazing Tuesday so far. Hey, Miss Allen. I literally have maybe about 20 minutes before I go live on TikTok, and you guys are more than welcome to join me there because we're going to be talking about how to know when a person's season is up in your life. But our declaration is, don't let your guard down. That is going to be our declaration. And like I say, I pray that you guys have had amazing Tuesdays, that your week so far has been a good week, a favor-filled week, and just simply a blessed week. And I pray that, too, that these, messages that I'm doing on TikTok, I've been telling God this since he's been having me going live. I'm like, Lord, I just hope that it's blessing people, that it's exactly what they need to, be set free, because this is that season where God is setting us free. But our declaration is, don't let your guard down. Do not let your guard down. I had a moment today. Today has been a very productive day. It's been one of those days where I have learned to, in this season, to, I guess to not focus so much on what I'm waiting for. I'm learning, to not worry about those things and to just keep myself busy to where I'm not thinking about those things or, wanting to. I'm so grateful to hear that. To God be the glory, Miss Allen. I was telling God this, and I'm going to say this, and then I'm going to get into the word. I was telling God this, the sense of fulfillment that I've been needing to feel. TikTok has literally been blessing me. It has been giving me that sense of fulfillment, like it's made me feel like my life has purpose, and God has shown me that he's been really using all the things that I've been through, all the hurt, all the pain, and he's been producing something that is much, that makes me, it lets me see that it wasn't in vain. And so I've really been in a very grateful place when it revolves around TikTok. It feels good to not just be appreciated, but it feels good to actually have people engage with you. It's a highlight of my days. It has become the highlight of my days. And so I'm so very grateful that God chose me, that he entrusts me to steward that platform in a way that, brings him glory. But it's raining here, y'all. But I want to share this revelation before I have to prepare for TikTok. Again, the declaration is, don't let your guard down. Today has been like a productive day. It's been one of those days where I've really just been focused on the things that I can control. It's just really been, these days have really been peaceful for me. But I had a moment, listen, Miss Allen, most definitely, God is showing me that every single time I go live, he's showing me that. Sorry, those are my dogs barking in the background. That's Capone. But it was a really good day. And I found myself closer to the time when it was time to go to the gym. I found myself, hold on one second. Be quiet in here. You hear me? Be quiet. But I found myself, getting just on the time when it was time for me to work out. But it was one of those things where I just kind of pushed myself. I sat in the parking lot for about 30 to 40 minutes before I went inside of the gym because I was just that physically exhausted. And so in the mix of me finally getting there, God told me, he said, you're going to feel much better after you work out. And I do. But as I was working out, I got a phone call. From my mother. I'm going to share this revelation the way that God gave it to me. I got a phone call from my mother as I'm doing my cardio. It's like maybe 15 minutes into my workout. And I just honestly looked at the phone ring. And I told God, Lord, I don't have nothing against her, but, you know, I do not desire to talk. I unblocked her last week because I had chosen to let go of everything, and I just felt the need to unblock her, and so I did. And I found myself, you know, being a little bit bothered by it. You know, I opened up my messages, and, you know, I'm going somewhere with this. I opened up my messages, you know, because somebody else was texting me. One of my friends was texting me, and I saw that she had texted me. I have her on Do Not Disturb, so I don't get the messages. I don't get the notification, rather. And it was a message that literally said, I love you. And I'm going to be real with y'all. In that moment, I got so upset. It was almost like I got all upset all over again. And not upset with what she did to me, but upset about the pattern of how things flow. You know, and I was just telling God, you know, like, Lord, it's about a boundary. You know, you can't talk to me any kind of way, be hateful to me, you know, and think that you can just come back around and have access to me. And I was telling God, I said, it's not enough I love yous to undo what she did. You know, it's not enough I love yous in the world. And I told God, I said, it's not love to tell somebody that, you know, they won't ever talk to you for as long as you live. You know, it's just it's no excuse for it, right? And so I was talking to God, and I'm gonna be real, I was contemplating on opening her message and responding to her. Y'all, I'm this type of person. My red receipts stay on. So if I open a message, you're gonna be able to know that, oh, she read the message. And I was tempted in that moment, I'm going somewhere with this, to actually respond and to tell her how I felt. Listen, don't message me. It's not enough I love yous in the world to undo what you did. And something clicked. Now, this is on my way home, right? I put it to the side after she called, worked out. And on my way home, I just started to think about it. When I saw that message, it just infuriated me. There was just a righteous indignation that arose. And I was contemplating on messaging her and just standing my ground. And you want to know what God told me? He said, don't open it and say not one word. And as he continued to talk, I began to notice that what it was I finally moved past it. I finally let it go. I finally have peace. I'm gaining a momentum. I realized that in that moment of him just talking to me and calming my spirit, that not only was it a distraction, but I also realized that the enemy sent that to drain my energy. Because, like, do you really, like, know how much energy it takes, you know, to just stand your ground with somebody, to be matter of fact and stand your ground? It takes a lot of energy, and I was already feeling like I was depleted. And so at the end of God, you know, pretty much telling me that what I just told you guys, I heard the words, don't let your guard down. And, you know, that is really how the enemy works. In moments where we are physically drained, the enemy will feel as if, or not even just in moments where we're physically drained, but in moments where we're physically drained, in moments where we've had an emotional day, in moments where we are just you know, experiencing something, a loss or something that is just, you know, taken, that has made us feel as though we've taken a blow, the blow of a lifetime. The enemy will oftentimes send people, and I'm going to say this, he will oftentimes send people to literally drain you. He will send people to get an emotional response out of you. And what happens is if you engage with that, you know, and it's so funny because I just talked about on the video today, like sometimes the best response is no response. And here I am getting tested. But I noticed in that moment that it's like, if we're always engaging when the enemy sends temptations, if we're always giving in, like really what we show in God is, one, we're not ready for more. But we show God that we haven't that we have not learned whatever lessons we were to learn. Now, there were certain things that I learned, like after I went through what I went through with my mom, like a month or so ago. There were certain things that I learned, you know, there were certain things that I had to literally work through. And it's like literally as I've been like out of sight, out of mind, you know, with the situation, at a time when I'm physically drained, here comes the enemy. And God had to remind me that the enemy is like a roaring lion seeking whom he can devour. And even in this season, I believe that what God wants to say is don't let your guard down for anything. Whether you're having an extremely good day, we cannot afford to let our guard down, because when the enemy sees an opening, guess what happens? He gonna take it. Hey, Mrs. Etna, I'm gonna say that again. When the enemy sees an opening, he is going to take it every single time. And I think that for many of us, we've learned in the past what happens when our guard is down, when we're not focused or looking at things from a spiritual mindset. We've all had those moments where you let your guard down with a person and boom, they hurt you, right? You let your guard down in a situation and boom, the devil blindsides you. But I think that in this season, what God is simply saying is apply what you learned, right? Apply what you learned. We cannot afford to let our guard down, not now and not ever. I'm just being real. We absolutely cannot. And so I pray that this just encourages some of you guys, to not take the bait. When you see the enemy circling you, don't take the bait, whether the bait is emotional bait, whether it's physical bait. Do not take the bait and keep your guard up, right? Many of us are, and new things are beginning to happen. Some of us, we can just feel things internally shifting in us, where we have momentum, where we have more joy than we did, where we're not as worried or as stressed out as we once were. And I say all of this to say, don't let the devil take you back to that. When you understand how hard, it was to get out of whatever season, you're just coming out of, you can't afford to just give the enemy free access to you like that. You can't afford to just fall for any little tactic or any little trick of the enemy. Keep your guard up, because a lot of times it's right at the moment where the enemy knows you got your guard down, that boom, he attacks, he pounces, and he tries to take you out. And I think that for many of us, if we did more of keeping our guard up and keeping our eyes focused on God, we wouldn't deal with some of the cycles that we've dealt with previously, that they wouldn't have the power to reemerge, because our guard would always be up. But what a lot of people do is, the moment that a situation smooths itself out, they let their guard down, right? And they just think, oh, things are good. And it's literally right when you think that stuff is good, that is sweet, especially if you're in a toxic situation, right? Or a rough season, right? When you think that, oh, I can breathe again, the devil pulls the rug from under your feet. Yeah, he pulls the rug from under your feet. I say all of that to say, don't let your guard down on this season. And that ain't saying walk around being afraid of things, but use wisdom, right? When things happen out of the blue, take time to pause. Think about what's the wisest thing that you should be doing, and approach the situation correctly. That was literally what I did today. I know I'm like, okay, God, I see her calling, but I'm not answering this phone. I do not want to talk, and I'm not going to let. I'm not mad. I'm not hurt. I don't feel any kind of way, but I just don't desire that talk. And so initially my first response, in the old me would have answered and been really mean, right? But I just got to a point where I'm just like, everything energy. And so I paused in that moment. I listened to what God had to say. He said, don't answer. Guess what? I didn't answer. Even the text message, I was real tempted to listen to light a fire in her. But I didn't. I understood that in this season, if any of us are going to make it, hey, hi, hey, oh man, hey, get down, hold on, y'all. Sorry, y'all. This boy done tore up my bushes, my blinds again. Don't you get back up here, Capone. And I mean it. Don't get back up there. But I learned. Okay, that's the outside light. Hey, Bo, now get off of me. Hey, don't get up there. Don't get up there. No, sir. Do not get up there. Sorry, y'all. But what I was saying is, in this season, If any of us are going to make it, if any of us are going to have a smooth sailing season the way that God designs for it to be, we're going to have to start discerning, can I afford to give my energy to this situation? Can I afford to have an emotional response to this? Can I afford to expend the time and the effort into this? Is it a part of my assignment? Is it a part of what God has me focusing on? Because I think when you can get to the root of discerning if something deserves your time, your effort, and your energy, then you avoid, you avoid a lot of the pitfalls of what you've gone through previously. And so I experienced that, and I just had to share that revelation, because I believe that even now that there may be some of you guys, Mrs. Edmonds just said, it sounds like what she's going through. There may be some of you guys where, as you're embracing this new season and all of the good feels of it, that please understand the devil is going to try. But in moments where something is demanding your attention, you have to pause and ask God the question, is it worth it? And so in short, when the Lord began to put it to me like that, I simply knew that, this is not a situation that deserves my attention. It's going to drain me. It's going to make me feel as if I cannot do the broadcast later on. And so that is the word, man. Do not let your guard down. That was the revelation that God gave me, to not let my guard down and to not give everyone or every circumstance my attention. There are just some things, there are just some things that you got to just let God have. Hello, somebody. There are just some things that you just got to let God have. And in that moment, I knew that when I told God, I said, Lord, that's an energy drainer. It's a distraction. And I knew that in that moment, after I chose not to respond, not to even open the message, because I'm like, God, if I open this message, she gonna start back texting me back to back, right? And so when I decided this is not worth my energy, it's not worth my time, I chose to see it for what it was. I believe that in that moment, what it did was it allowed for me to remain focused on my assignment. But at the same time, guess what? It's me saying, God, it's in your hands. I told God how I felt. I said, God, I don't want to talk. You're not going to feel like you can talk to me any kind of way and expect for me to just move on and us go back to being cool. No, it's a boundary. And so, listen, you did the right thing, Miss Allen. Everybody don't deserve a response. Every situation doesn't deserve our response. And that's just it. But listen, that is the word, y'all. I want to encourage you guys to join me on TikTok. What time is it? I believe I have maybe about 10 minutes before I go live on TikTok. I just knew that I needed to release this word to you. But we're going to be going live today, and we're going to be talking about how do you know when a person's season is up. And so that is it, y'all. To those of you guys that feel led to sow, you can sow. The links, of course, are always there. And if you need prayer for anything, you guys can also email me. If you need to book a session, you guys can email me. But that is the word. I love y'all. I am rooting for you guys. Hopefully I will see y'all on TikTok. So until next time, y'all, peace. And the seed title is Don't Let Your Guard Down. The seed title is Don't Let Your Guard Down. And so that's it, y'all. Till next time. Peace.